Second part of the video, Sermon at Banaras. Kesa Gautami become weary and hopeless and sat down at the wayside watching the lights of the city. As they flickered up and were extinguished again, at last the darkness of the night everywhere, and she considered the fate of man that their lives flicker up and are extinguished again. And she thought to herself, how selfish am I in my grief? That is common to all. Yet in this valley of desolation there is a path that leads him to immortality who has surrendered all selfishness. That means all hope was lost for Kesa Gautami, and thus in extreme anguish and pain she found herself a place to ponder at the edge of the road. She continuously watched city lights blinking and observed them till there was just darkness all around. After deep reflection, she realized that man's fate was just like these city lights that flicker and extinguish rapidly. The cycle of birth, and that is nature's way of working. Suddenly, she became conscious as to have selfish, she said, been in her sorrow, and that one who was born must rest eternally. Men are mortal, and the ones that are immortals have covered a path from free from all worldly pleasure. Now here the Buddha said, the life of mortals in the world is troubled and brief and combined with pain. For there is not any means by which those that have been born can avoid dying. After reaching old age, there is death. Of such a nature are living beings. As ripe fruits are early in danger of falling, so mortals have when born are always in danger of death. As all earthen vessels made by the potter end in being broken, so is the life of mortals, both young and adults, both those who are fools and those who are wise, all fall into the power of death. All are subjected to death. So, here with these words, according to Lord Buddha, the life of mortals is troubled because they have not made peace with the fact that the one who is born must rest eternally. There is no way a living being can avoid facing death. Just like a ripe fruit is more prone to falling, an aged mortal is bound to die. Just like all earthen vessels break at some point, so do men, whether old or young, foolish or wise, that leaves none. Here, of course, of those who overcome by death depart from life, a father cannot save his son, nor kinsman their relations mark, while relatives are looking on and lamenting deeply, and by one mortal are carried off, like an ox that is led to the slaughter. So the world is afflicted with death and decay, therefore the wise do not grieve, knowing the term of the world. Kinsman means a man who is one of the person who's in blood relation. Lamenting means express regret or disappointment about something. Slaughter means killing of animal for food. Afflicted, it means affect adversely. The only way works by withdrawing the person from the living world, that is, the person ceases to exist. No one has control over death. Neither a father can save his son, nor a kinsman his relative. Just like an ox is taken to the slaughterhouse to be killed, so does death do with mortals, leaving none behind. Thus, the one who knows the truth and doesn't grieve at his loss is the one who has been called wise by Lord Buddha. Now, here, not from weeping nor from grieving will anyone obtain peace of mind. On the contrary, his pain will be the greater and his body will suffer. He will make himself sick and pale. Yet the dead are not saved by his lamentation. He who seeks peace should draw out the arrow of lamentation and complaint and grief. He who has drawn out the arrow and has become composed with obtained peace of mind, he who has overcome all sorrows will become free from sorrow and be blessed. Here, according to Lord Buddha, one should not grieve, weep, or be miserable at something which is bound to happen, for it will keep man away from obtaining peace of mind. It will only multiply the pain and suffering, thus leading to physical weakness, and moreover, no amount of grief would bring back the dead. It is very important to understand that one must move past feelings like sorrow and grief, as it is the only way that leads to the path of salvation. So, here, according to the chapter, we can say that Gautam Buddha was born to a northern Indian royal family as a prince and was named Siddhartha Gautama. When he was 12 years old, he was sent to a faraway place to study Hindu sacred scriptures. And upon returning 4 years later, he got married to a princess. Soon they both had a son and they continued to live the royal life for about 10 years. The royals were shielded from all the unpleasant experiences of the world until one day, on his way to hunt, the prince met a sick man, an aged man, a funeral procession, and a monk begging for alms. These experiences affected as eye opener for him, and thus he left all the royalty behind to seek a hunger sense of spiritual knowledge. Upon attaining salvation, he began preaching. He gave his first sermon in the city of Banaras. And there was a lady, one incident is mentioned over there. There was a lady named Kisa Gautami, and whose son had died. Suffering with unending pain, she went from house to house looking for medicine to bring her son back to life. Even people started thinking that the lady had lost her senses. So one day she met a man who directed his towards Lord Buddha, who could possibly have a solution for her problem. So Buddha asked her to look for mustard seeds, and the seeds must be procured from a house that had seen no death. Rin stayed with hope. Kesa Gautami once again went on a search from house to house, but to her dismay, she could not find mustard seeds from a house that would fulfill Buddha's condition. Disheartened, she sat at the edge of the road, thus realizing how selfish she had been. She became conscious to the fact that men were mortal and no one could escape the cycle of life. This was exactly what Buddha wanted her to understand. According to the Lord Buddha, feelings of grief and sorrow only increases man's pain and sufferings. Thus, therefore, a wise person fully aware about nature's functioning must not grieve at something bound to happen, and only then he can be happy and blessed. So that's all about this chapter.